Create broken and having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Mm-hmm. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear? Do it anyways. And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me what I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's a huge dysfunction within our Black community.
Cam Newton recently interviewed Cheyenne Bryant, and she really did a good job of really breaking down this whole thing. Like, because we haven't seen, it's almost been like a trend of seeing Black men. I mean, it's been going on for decades, honestly, if we're just going to keep it a buck. But creating broken homes and creating single mothers and leaving women. And then sometimes we have, anyway, but so Cam Newton was on the show and she was talking about broken homes. He says, look, I have 8 kids and I have 3 baby mothers. And here's the kicker, I want more. And she was like, okay, where do you want it from marriage or whatever? I just want God to bring them to me. Which I do feel like he said it a little bit under duress, because I do think he said that. I know some people are like, oh my God, I feel bad for Jazzy or whatever stuff. Maybe he didn't mean that, but he just wants to come from wherever. Because I don't think he sees her as wife material, but we'll talk about that later. But the whole thing with broken homes, I felt like she really broke it down well. Yeah. Because he did say that my fear of marriage is higher than my desire to get married. And she said, so he says, I'm just taking my time.
He has a fear of divorce.
He has a fear of divorce.
So that's higher than his desire to get married.
And I feel like, so she said it is the epitome of selfishness for you to go around to say that, I want to have more children and stuff. And then for you to sit down here and say that, oh yes, I also want more kids, even though I have created 8 children with 3 different women. I still want more. And then his excuse was that, well, life be lifing. No, you are actively choosing to let your life be lifing.
In my home.
I don't believe that for 1 minute.
But let's just say for
all 8 kids live with you.
Yeah,
who takes care of the kids when you're not there?
Let's just say that's the case. It's still going to be different, because Jazz, she's going to be different with the other children than she is with her children. The kids still have to understand and know that their mom is not here, so they're going to feel some kind of way. So it's still not going to be even. You're still having a dysfunctional dynamic, and this is how you end up with siblings as enemies.
Facts.
And these men are creating that. You're not creating that, stable family structure for your children and for your wife, all because you lack self-control. And for me, I don't know how a man can be low functioning and have low functioning behavior but still be high value. High value cannot just be about your money that you have. And I think she was just throwing him a bone so he doesn't feel bad that he's also low value and low functioning.
Yeah, I mean, but I would say he's low value, honestly, though. Because I feel like, we'll talk about it in a different video. But I do feel like her pointing out the fact that you're creating these houses and you're separating it. I feel like he did take it in, because I do appreciate the fact that he did not say anything. I think he did take it in.
He really listened.
He did listen.
He seemed to really be listening I mean, towards the end, it almost seemed like I just fell in love with Cheyenne Bryant.
I know, first
Dr. Bryant, because I felt like in that moment that, you know, she really schooled him like a mother will
Yeah.
to her son, and still tried to
Uplift him.
with some crumbs.
Which is what you kind of do sometimes, you know, especially when you know, raising a boy and everything. It's
Yeah,
like you
absolutely.
have to give the
Both.
masculine, but you have to come back and soften it with the feminine. And I
Right.
felt like she did
I
that
think
so
she did a
beautifully.
very good job of that, and I think that he heard her to the point that he seemed like,
He even
you know,
came back for more advice. So he said, "So would you consider me high value?" I was like, he's throwing himself back into the oil.
right, yeah, and she threw him a little bone, but she did say that he has potential
He
of
said,
being high functioning, like he needs to continue to work and strive, you know, but it seemed as though he heard her. At least in the end, he wasn't still talking about spreading his seed around and having more children. It seemed as though she had kind of clipped those nuts a little bit,
Yes.
to give him pause on what he's saying and what he's thinking.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, he is creating broken homes. And the thing is, you don't know the damage that's coming from. You're just talking about, I just want more kids. I want more kids.
Yeah.
For what purpose? You know what I'm saying? I feel like with him, the reason why he feels that his fear of divorce is so high is because he knows that there are certain expectations when it comes to marriage, and he knows that he is a messed up individual, and he knows going towards marriage means working on yourself and holding yourself accountable.
Absolutely.
Obviously he has not been holding himself accountable. That's why he has 8 kids.
Yeah.
He knows that he probably will end up divorced because of how he is.
Yeah.
And you know, so when you get married to somebody, there are certain expectations. There's things that you
Absolutely.
can and can't do. It's very different from having a girlfriend
Exactly.
or having a partner who lives with you. There's different expectations.
You can still go cheat
Yeah,
on her.
right.
Because I was with my partner, we ain't married. You know, I'm not married.
You can't do that. And then also on top of that, you know, when there's consequences, because if you don't change and evolve, it results in divorce. And what does
Absolutely.
divorce result in? Losing money. You know what I'm saying? So that's why his fear of divorce is so high, I feel, because he knows that he's a very flawed individual, and he doesn't intend on changing that anytime soon.
Yep.
That's why he has a fear of divorce. It
Yes.
has nothing to do with the actual act itself. It has everything to do with who he is and where he is right now,
And where he intends to be,
where he intends to stay.
for at least for now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do think that maybe he will think about it, and I'm hoping that he does not continue to create these broken homes, because these are
Absolutely.
8 kids who are going to be affected by his actions and his decisions. And the fact that he even opened up, it probably does affect him, that people think he's low functioning, because
Yeah,
he knows
I
he's
think
low
so.
functioning.
Exactly.
He sees that everybody can see that.
Yeah.
That's why he
He
even mentioned it. That was
He
a
seems
vulnerable
to
thing
want
for
to
him.
be. I love the fact that he was vulnerable.
And he stayed vulnerable, even though it was
I-
a little touch and go sometimes, but he still
He
opened
pushed
up.
himself to be vulnerable,
Yeah.
and you know, that could be the kind of loving spirit that Jazz gives to him.
But do I
So-
think he's going to actually marry her? I don't think so. I think that there's a certain woman he probably wants to be, because to me it seems as if he does have some traditional values, especially with him talking. I think I saw an interview where he was talking about how he doesn't like women who show off their figure and stuff like that. And I wouldn't even say traditional. I would say he does have some misogynistic views. There are some traditional stuff in there, because he did grow up with his father being a pastor and stuff. But yeah, I don't know if Jazz is somebody that he will really see. I feel like he probably will be with somebody, once he starts to better himself, he will attract a woman who is also bettering herself, and he will probably want to be with a woman who will maybe hold his foot to the fire a bit. I feel like Jazz is very giving of everything. Like,
Yeah.
she's even said herself that he is very much spoiled, which we'll talk about
And I
another
will
one.
heal. I'm here to heal
Heal,
him. My
and I
love
think-
is able to heal, and I'm kind of this healer and stuff like that.
I feel like she's maybe bettering him for the next woman, because we all know that men don't typically stay with women who, like, if they excuse my French, if they ain't shit, and they get with a woman who has helped them get better, usually they're standing on that woman's neck so they can be a better person for the woman that they actually want.
Right.
After they have drained you. Because she also even talked about how it has been very draining. But that will lead us into our next video, which we will talk about.
Okay.
But thank you, Cheyenne Bryant, for talking to him and really getting through to him. I really do think he will think twice before he decides not to pull out or not use protection. I hope. Because we don't need more of this. You don't know the damage it's going to cause. You're just thinking, oh, I'm just having all these kids. You and Nick Cannon need some help. This is very dysfunctional.
It seems as though he is wanting the help, which is a difference with Nick Cannon.
It's a difference between wanting the help and actually
following through.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all, we'll see you guys on the next video.